I shut my eyes in order to see. Paul Gauguin. Hi everyone, it's Lee here. Welcome to day 2 of Junk Journal January. So pleased that you've decided to join me and see what I make during this challenge. So I'm doing my spreads as mainly painty things, so a little bit different to what I normally do. But what I thought was, this is a really good opportunity just to let loose pretty much and get messy, of course, which happens any time of the month, whether I'm doing a challenge or not. Yeah, so I just want to reconnect with my paints basically, because before I started doing junk journaling I was like a semi-professional artist, so I used to paint and sell my painting. I started doing Take 5 Art Challenge. Yeah, so that's when I first fell in love with the whole concept of junk journaling, and over time I just lost contact with my paints, really. So I'm hoping that this reignites that spark in me. Yesterday when I did my video, I was so caught up in the whole video thing and the excitement of the first day of Junk Journal January, I totally forgot to wish everybody a Happy New Year. So, Happy New Year! We're a day late, but it's still New Year, isn't it? The prompt for today is quote. So what I'm going to do is similar to what I did yesterday, but I want to get this is what I did yesterday, but what I'm hoping to get is some more subdued colours. I mean, still want the yellow and everything in there, but I want everything to have a little bit more white in it. So I've got my palette with my 3 colours here. And this is, I'm not going to do it on the back of yesterday. I thought I'll just leave that page as it is for the time being. So this will be the first of the actual copy paper ones that I'll be doing. I really feel like doing a double spread. Should I or shouldn't I? No, I think I'll just stick to a small one for today. And I think maybe this page is going to need a coating of something like clear gesso, just to make sure that this paper is going to stand up to everything that I'm going to throw at it today. So I'm just going to quickly cover that in clear gesso. So that's had a coat of this Liquitex clear gesso. Now listen to the paper. Can you hear that? This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like after the clear gesso. It's actually got what's called tooth in it. So it feels like there's a really fine sand or something in that gesso. So that just helps the paint to stick, protects the paper as well. So it's sealing it and it's providing a surface for the paint to go on top of. So I want to just randomly cover my page. And I'm just going to put some white in there and a tiny little bit of yellow and a tiny little bit of this aqua. So I want a really nice wishy-washy colour here. And it's already quite loose, but I want to add a little bit of water. Whoops. Go over there. And see the colour? Isn't it beautiful? So that's what I want, that type of dreamy, translucent colour on my page. I'm not sure how much of this will be seen in the end. Doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to add another little speck, just the tiniest little bit on the end of my brush, of that blue, turquoise. And put some of that in there. I'm painting straight over the stitching. It's not worrying me. Now I might increase that a little bit more with a touch more, another speck on the end of my brush of the blue. Okay. It's really hard for me to paint and talk at the same time, which is why yesterday's video was had so much music in it. So I know a lot of you don't like the music, but sometimes it's just filling in like an empty space, you know. I go off into a little dream world, really, I suppose, and realise that, oh, I haven't said anything for quite some time. You might be wondering what's going on, but so that was why I put all that music in it yesterday. So that's coming really nicely. I hope you can see this colour. So I'm going to go back to yellowy colour, but that's too dark. I want it nice and light. There's one thing to remember about acrylics, if you're using them, is that they actually dry darker. So I'm liking the way this is looking. It's got a lovely, as I said, a dreamy sort of look about it. Everything's transparent. I love that you can still see the stenciling through there as well. Now, do I dare put a little bit of pink in there? Let me see if I can get a pink that I like from these colours. So the red that I've chosen is a very warm red. I'm just going to water that down and take a fair amount of white. So that's the colour I've got so far, but I'm not happy with that. I want it cooler than that, so I'm just adding a little bit of blue in there. It's more purple now. I'm going to add some white just to knock that back. It's not really the colour I want. I might have to change to a different red somewhere along the line. A cooler red perhaps. Anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of this pink in. Just a few little splotches. Bit over here. And maybe I will water my paint down a bit more, that pink, and put some pink splashes in there. So far I'm still happy with that. I don't think I've ruined it yet. So I've got my little fan brush, which is the one I use for all my splattering. Just going to water that down. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. And while I'm at it, I'll put some blue splashes in there as well. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come in over the top and do something else. I've got this little stencil, and I've made a green, and I'm just going to, using my brush, apply a little bit of that just on the edge there, and I think I'll perhaps put some on here. I only want it to be subtle. So I've got this one. I like the lines that are on it, and I would like to make that green a little bit lighter again. Just add a little bit of water to it. Let's see, maybe just put some here. I want to avoid the edges of the stencil so that you don't get any straight lines there. Yeah, it's quite subtle. Put a little bit up here. Will dry darker. And then I'm thinking maybe a little bit of pink. So I just added a little bit of this Australian red violet into the same mixture, so that the original red and white together. Still not showing up really well. Not the way I want it to. Let me try something else. Just going to try this colour by itself, but with a lot of water in it. That's more like what I was wanting to get. So I'm just going to put that on there and then I'm going to dab it off. So I'm just dabbing that off so it's not as intense. And then I'll add a few splotches and a couple of other marks. And then I'll dry this and draw my focal point on, which is another flower. I've got my watercolour paints here. What I'd like to do is just add some highlights in there with my watercolours. I've got a little brush here, tiny little one. Some clean water. So I want to use one of these greens. And I'm thinking maybe this one to start with. quote, and I feel like I want to put some more dots. I don't want to splatter, but I feel the need to put some dots. And dashes. Now, do I want to do anything else? Because everything I do I have to let dry before I can do the quote on there. I sort of feel like it needs some white. I do have my gesso mix here, and I use this to do my splatters. So I think a few splatters will be okay. So I'll write my quote there. Hopefully I can fit it in. Okay, so I'll let that dry. I shut my eyes in order to see. Paul Gauguin. Okay, that's day 2 done. That was quote. Let me know in the comments what you think. Give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you for day 3, which is throwback. Okie dokie. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. So hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo. Happy creating. Bye.